Good morning, class 10. This is computer class. I hope you all are fine. In my last class, I was completed chapter 5A, methods, introduction to methods. Today we will start method overloading, chapter number 5B. So in this, our first topic is pure and impure methods. So I will now explain you now first of all pure and impure method. What is pure method and what is impure method? So pure method are those method which will not change or modify the values of arguments sent to them. Okay. So pure methods means those methods whose argument value will not be changed. And impure method means if they will change their value, if we will send the arguments and it will change the values, it is known as impure methods. Okay. So this is the main difference between pure and impure method. Means so I will explain you with the help of one example, then you can better understand it. What is the pure method and what is impure method? Okay. So I will explain you in the blue J only. This is my class pure and impure method. So you can see here, I prepared a class pure and impure. Here I took one variable, its name is var and its value is 5. Okay. This is my first method, this is second method and this is third method. So we will see that which is the pure method and which is impure method. So as I told you, in which original value will not be changed by passing the argument, it is known as pure method. And if it will be changed, it is known as impure method. Okay. So here I have the instance variable where its value is 5. This is my first method. Its return type is string. Function name is even odd. Even odd means we have here I will pass one number and we will check that whether this passed number is given argument is even number or odd number. And this value will be in the form of integer. Means which value we will pass, that will be passed through variable num. It is of integer type and it will return the output in the form of a string. Means we have to return the value even or odd. For that, this is the simple statement. It will return what it will return. First, it will check the given num, means the past value modulus 2 is equals to 0. This is only the way how we can find out the given number is even or odd. Means if the given number, if we will divide by 2 and the remainder will be 0, it means it will be even, otherwise it will be odd. Okay. So if the remainder will be 0, it will return the value even, it is of string type. And if it is not 0, remainder is not 0, it will return the value string type value odd. Okay. So in this way, you can see that which value we are passing num, that will not affect your value, that will not affect your instance value. Okay. So in this way, this is the pure method. It is pure method. If which argument we are passing, if it will not change your value, it will not change your original value, that is known as pure method. Now in second method, this is the method increment. What do you mean by increment? Means here what I am doing, I am increasing the value of var by 1. What I have written, var plus plus, means it will increase the value of var by 1. Means after after the execution of this increment variable, it will change the original value var by 1. Means now after execution of this method increment, it will be 5 plus 1, 6. Okay. So in this way, it affect your original value. It means it is impure method. Okay. Now next one. This is the third method, total price. Here we will pass one value, price. Okay. Now what it will return? Return var into price. Okay. Actually, price will not directly affect your var. But what happened here? We are multiplying it by var into price. Okay. So what it will do? It will change its value. So it is now impure method. Now in the main, I will call all these methods. First of all, I will create its object, class object OB. Then I will print OB dot, means through the object OB, I will pass one value in which function evod. Evod, here I am passing the value in the variable num, that is 6. I means I have to check whether 6 is even or odd. Next, I am calling increment function. Okay. Here increment will not return anything or it will not print anything, but I used it. Then system.out.println, what I have to do, ob dot total price. Here I have to pass price. Okay. So, and price I passed here 200. Okay. Now you see, if I will run this program through main, first of all, I will compile it. Okay. I will compile. There is no error. Now I will run this. I will run through main. Direct it can run. Okay. What output you got? First of all, you got even. This 30 is the previous output. Don't look there. First output is even and second output 1200. How you got this? Okay. Just again you come to your program. 30 and 1200. Remember that. Through main, first of all, you know that program will execute through main. Then first of all, it will create the object and then it will print. What it will print? OB dot, means first of all, it will execute eve odd function. Eve odd function, this one. And here I will pass the value 6. Okay. In place of num, I will pass the value 6. You know that when we will check whether it is even or odd, we will get that remainder will be 0. 6 modulus 2 equal to 0. So of course it is even number. So first output is even. Here we are calling increment function. There is no return value. There is no system.out.println. So what you will get, you will not get any output for this one, for this function. But next one, system.out.println, again I am calling here total price. What it will return? It will return var into price. So var into price, what is your variable? Var variable 5. 5 and price is 200. So 5 into 200. 5 into 200, it should be 1000. It should be 1000. But what happened? What you got here? Just again you see, what was my output? My output was 1200. How it become 1200? You know that 200 into 5, it should be 1000. But how it will be 1200? Because before the execution of the last function, this last function total price, it will execute first where plus plus means value of where is now affected. It is increased by 5 plus 1, 6. So now the new value of where is 6. So that's why 6 into 200, now it is 1200. So you can see that this is the um, implementation of impure method. So in this way you can see these two are increment and total price are impure method, but this is the pure method. Okay, so this is the example of pure and impure method. Now I will explain you the new topic, that is static data. What is static data? Static data is also known as static variable or static data members. So with the static data members, with the static variables, we are using the keyword static. Okay. And a static variable acts as the global variable. And you also know that, as I explained you in the class 9 also, static data variables or static data members, you can say it can be directly accessed through the class. There is no need to create the object or anything for that. You can directly access through the class. That's why it is also known as class members. This is static data members are also known as class member because it can be directly accessed through the class. For example, class calc. This is my class calc. Here I declared one variable num. It is of integer type, but also it is of static. So if your data member is static, you have to use here static keyword. Okay, and I initialized it for it by 0. So this is the global. Now it will work as the global variable for all the data members. For everywhere in the class, its value will be common equal to 0. So num is a static data member and its value will be common for all. Okay, everywhere in the class, its value will be common. Now our next topic is static method. What is static method? Static methods also uses the static keyword. Like in static data member, you have before the variable data type, you have to use the keyword static. In the same way, before the method name, you have to use this keyword static. Okay, and it also belongs to the class. I told you that static data members are called the class members. In the same way, it belongs to the class. And no need to create an instance of the class to access the static method. We don't have to create any instance. That's why you don't have to create any object for that class to access the static methods. It can be directly accessed. So it can be directly accessed from the class. No need to create any object to call to access the static methods. Okay. And static method, remember that static method can only access the static variables. This is the specialty of static methods, that it can only access the static variables. Non-static variable it will not access. Okay, so it cannot access instance variable. And if you want to create non-static method from a static method, what you have to do, you have to create instance of that class. Now, how can you write this static method? How you can call the static method? First of all, you have to write the class name and dot that method name. In this way, you can call the static methods. Now, what are the non-static methods? Non-static methods does not have the keyword static. Remember that. For the static methods, it is must to use the static keyword before that method name, but non-static method does not have any keyword, okay, before the name of method. And for non-static method, we have to create the object of the class, okay. To access the non-static method, it is must to create an instance of the class. Now I will explain you with the help of one example. I will explain you static and non-static. This is my class static method. Okay. Here you can see that this is my class static method. I have here one function. This function is of which type? Static type. How it is static type? Because I used here the keyword static. That's why it is static method. Okay. And in this method, I passed here two values, two parameters, n1 and n2. Both parameters are of integer type, and it will return the value also of integer type. Okay. So what I want to explain you, I have one static method addition with the keyword static. Here I am passing two arguments and it will return the value also of integer type. Now, what I have to do in this function, it will add these two values n1 and n2 and it will return. Okay. This is the process of, this is the, you can say this is the aim of this method. Now, come on the main method. Here, I am calling this method static method. My function name is static method. Or what I told you, how we will write class name dot method name. So same I have written here static method, my class name and method name addition. Here I have to pass two values 10 and 20 I passed. Okay, and it will return the answer in the form of integer. So in the variable ans which is of integer type, I will store the answer. So after what it will do, I am calling here, it will reach here and it will add these two n1 and n2, means in the form of n1 it is 10 and in the form of n2 it is 20. So it will add n1 plus n2 means 10 plus 20 and it will print this value. It will return this value. It will return this value here and it will print then answer. Okay. Now I will compile and I will run this program. This is my function static method. Okay, now I can call it. Yeah. Now look here the output. Just a minute. Yeah, you can see here, this is the answer 30. These were the previous one. My current answer is 30. Okay, means 10 plus 20, 30. So in this way, what you got? In the static method, what I have to do? I have done this. I am using this static method and then I called it in the main also. Okay. Now I will explain you the next program in which you will get some error. What is the error? What I told you that it should be static. Okay. But here what I have done, same program, but here I remove the keyword static. I removed here static. What I told you, static method can access this static variables. Okay. Now I removed this static keyword from here. Everything is same. Everything is same here. Only I removed a static keyword and you will get the sum. When I will compile this program, you will get some error. Non-static method addition cannot be referenced from a static context. It means if you want to call this function in the static main, you know that main is also the static. So if you want to call, if you want to access the method in the main, that should be static. No, it is non-static. It is not static. No, it is not a static method. Here I remove the static keyword. So in this way, you cannot access this non-static method in the static main function. What you have to do, for if you want to access this non-static method in addition, you have to create here the object. Without creating the object direct through the class, how I was written, class name dot function name. So direct through the class you cannot access this non-static method. To access non-static method, you have to create the object. Without creating object, you cannot access any non-static method. So that's why it will give the error, non-static method cannot be referenced from a static context. Okay, got it? So this is the difference between static and non-static method. Okay. So I think you all understood what is the static method and what is the non-static method. So and one more thing I want to tell you that if you want to call if you want to call a non-static method from a static method, you have to create an instance, and means you have to create the object. Okay, then only you can create then only you can access the non-static method. So these were about the pure and impure method, static and non-static method. Next day in my class I will explain you about the method overloading. Okay, till that time, have a great day. Thank you.